snowless valleys among the trans-Antarctic mountains, the first documented evidence of sedimentary rocks and fossils on the continent, and widespread evidence of ancient climate change. Antarctica was once warm enough to sustain life, they concluded. Over the following decade, 2 more British expeditions, one on an aged, refitted sealer named Nimrod, captained by Ernest Shackleton, and another with Robert Scott, aboard a sturdy whaler called Terra Nova, built on this research, with Scott's second expedition finally finding the elusive Glossopteris. Researchers on these expeditions risked their lives on a regular basis, with the scientist who found the Glossopteris fossils, Edward Wilson, dying with Scott and his 5-person polar party in 1912. After finding those prized fossils at the Mount Buckley outcropping during their descent from the East Antarctic ice sheet, this team had carried them until their death from starvation, exposure, and exhaustion on the Ross ice shelf. A search party found their bodies in camp with the fossils and field notes. Despite radios, airplanes, snowmobiles, better supplies, and superior food, scientific research in the remote reaches of Antarctica remains challenging today. As a historian traveling under a grant from the National Science Foundation's Antarctic Artists and Writers Program, I experienced those challenges firsthand, working with dozens of different scientific teams during my season on the ice over a decade ago. It was there that I first met Bruce Luyendyk, then on his 5th expedition, whose geological research built on the century-old findings of the Discovery, Nimrod, and Terra Nova expeditions. As a historian, while I worked with various current research teams in the field, my project involved understanding and interpreting the work of those pioneering scientists on earlier expeditions, leading to my 2011 book with Yale University Press, An Empire of Ice, Scott, Shackleton, and the Heroic Age of Antarctic Science. Meeting Luyendyk gave me the chance to talk with a modern geologist, doing similar work as the Discovery, Nimrod, and Terra Nova geologists, and it helped me to confirm in my mind why their century-old research remains relevant today. Bruce Luyendyk's memoir, Mighty Bad Land, A Perilous Expedition to Antarctica Reveals Clues to an Eighth Continent, recounts the first of his 3 geological expeditions to mountain ranges in Marie Byrd Land, 800 miles east of the main American base at McMurdo Station. Marie Byrd Land, or MBL, is a remote area of West Antarctica that stretches east from the Ross Sea. Its scattered mountain ranges are distributed over an area about the size of California. Because Bruce's team worked beyond helicopter rescue range, they found themselves isolated in the deep field. Here, for a month and a half in 1989 to 1990, his small team of 6 persons sought evidence for the breakup of the Gondwana supercontinent and of a much larger ice sheet on Antarctica in the not-too-distant past, evidence that bears on the current rise of global sea level. As a memoir, Mighty Bad Land presents both a journey of geological discovery and an adventure story. In both respects, this book is similar to the memoirs written by Scott, Shackleton, and some of their leading scientists about their tales of living and working in the Antarctic. Like the scientists deployed by Scott and Shackleton, Luyendyk's team had to prepare to survive on their own. They were challenged and sometimes unprepared for the obstacles they faced: biting cold, screaming blizzards, whiteouts, falls into deep crevasses, and bitter interpersonal conflicts. Like Shackleton's lead field scientist, Royal Society geologist Edgeworth David, Luyendyk was nearly 50 when he began his first Antarctic expedition. Burdened by age and asthma, he, like David, chose to risk the journey. Luyendyk's team consisted of 4 geologists supported by 2 mountaineers. Their combined skills and expertise were many, and in some cases, life-saving. The geologic team included a graduate student researching the origin of these mountains for her dissertation. Together they lived and worked, discovered and protected each other